Let's talk about filling the funnel. If we need to be focused here, we pick the date. If we need to be focused on 60 or 70 presentations, we need to be able to make these. That means we need to fill the funnel. We need to make these invitations. And some of you are going, you're out of your mind. I've been making invitations since I joined this business, and I hardly had anybody show up. I understand, because you did it one at a time. You're scared out of your mind. Most of you didn't do much. You haven't sent that many invitations. You've invited one person like the same time, or the same person for like over and over and over and over. Now forget about what you're going to say, because I'm going to teach you what to say. Really simple, really fun, really fast. You don't have to have all the knowledge in the world. You don't have to have all the answers in the world. Don't even worry about that stuff. What I want to do right now is make the calendar your friend. This is your boss. This is in your workbook. You'll have this. You'll have a calendar here, and for each day, you'll have an appointment schedule, place to be able to take your notes. You're going to be filling this appointment schedule for the entire day. But our goal is to turn this into a working document, to fill it up. If this is your 30 days, what I want you to do in really small writing is to write the hours that you're willing to work on each day. Write the hours that you're prepared to work for this 30 days. This is your business plan. Any business people here ever write a business plan? Anybody? Written a business plan? This is your business plan. You're going to accomplish this 20 and 30. Here's why you're going to do it. Here's the tactics you're going to use to do it. And you're going to use this as a tool. And this is the indicator of whether that business plan's for real. If I was an investor, you show me your business plan, I'd say, okay, show me the calendar. How are we doing towards this goal? What are the hours you're willing to commit? Let's start there. Fill those hours in, okay? So once we get the hours, then we can start doing the appointments. And what I would recommend that you do is book the appointments in 30-minute blocks. 30-minute blocks. Also, as you're looking at this calendar, what I want you to do is determine where are you going to do, if it's a face-to-face presentation, where are you going to do it? Pick your spot. Is it this particular Starbucks in the corner, you know, in the cool spot in the corner? Is it some other public place around you? Is it at your house? Is it at an office? Where is it? But have kind of a go-to spot during this period of time for face-to-face. Now, if it's face-to-face using Skype or computer or whatever, you can do it anywhere, but have your spot. And I would highly recommend to you that face-to-face will radically improve your results. Anytime you possibly can do it. Personal interaction changes dynamics, changes relationships, builds more trust, transfers more belief. It just does something that's different. Somebody apologizes to you over the phone, that's one thing. They sit down face-to-face, look you in the eye, and they say, I'm sorry, it's a completely different thing. So, where's your go-to spot? This is your map. You're going to figure this out. Then, we've got to determine who are we going to invite. That's where you take and you have this. That's part of this program, this ultimate memory jogger. It's got everything you need in order to be able to put every possible candidate here. And all I'm going to ask you to do is don't worry about anything for this 30 days but the numbers. All we want to do is hit our numbers. And don't prejudge people. Don't say they're too broke or they're too rich or they're too negative or anything, any of that stuff. Don't worry about that stuff. Our goal is we're going to tell the story to what? 100 people? Where is it? No. We won't tell the story to that many. We're going to invite that many. Yeah, here it is. We're going to do 60, 70 presentations. We're going to tell the story 60, 70 times. And if it's a half an hour each time, let's say it's 70 times. Half an hour each time is how much? 35 hours. 35 hours of presentation time over the month. That's not crazy, right? A little over an hour a day. You can make that work, and there's lots of, inviting and follow-up that you're going to be doing in between that. But 35 hours of presentation time is about what it's going to take in order to be able to get this 20 done. So, go through this memory jogger, have it help you create your list. Here's what I want you to do inside of this workbook. For building your candidate list, 1, use the workbook, memory jogger workbook. It's important to write it down. 2, write down every contact you have, all contacts. Pull out your phone, write them all down. Pull out any address books you might have, any lists that you might have currently, social media. Go to all those places. All we're looking for is somebody to tell our story to. That's all we're looking for. And we're not even going to be worried if they say yes or they say no. We're just going to be telling our story. We're going to be doing these 70 presentations over the course of 30 days. That's what we're going to do. We're determined to do it. We're going to make it happen. That means we need 70 bodies sitting in front of us to hear our story. We're going to book that a half an hour at a time. Third is think about all the contacts. Who do they know? You've heard of 6 degrees of separation. This is the 2nd degree of separation. Everybody on your list, who do they know? You know them too. Some people have this fear, I just don't know anybody. You're going to have to get a little bit creative. That's okay. What they're really saying is, I don't know people who would likely do this. Oh, that's fine. Don't prejudge, though. Okay? Make the list. I don't care how long you've been in this business. You can do enough to do a 30-day game plan to be able to recruit 20 people no matter how long you've been in and how beat up your list is. You can work out a plan to be able to do it. You might not like it. It might not be comfortable. You might have to stretch a bit, but you can make that happen. Who do they know? And then 4, think about long-distance candidates. Here's why. Wherever your company operates, in order to do this effectively, here's what I did strategically. Part of my business plan was I would work one coast in the morning, and then as the day went on, I would work another coast at night. Because I couldn't work the one coast at night because it was like 2 in the morning. Couldn't do that. So I'd work all these other coasts. How many of you operate in more than one country? Anybody? If you operate in more than one country, start thinking about who do you know in these other, it's part of your preparation. Who do you know in these other countries? You can start making calls at odd times or connections at odd times to do presentations with the people in those other countries. Okay? Other states, other countries, long distance, you can reach out to them. Even if it's somebody you know, they know that person, you can call them up and say, hey, so-and-so recommended you. I see that you're in Iceland. Are there any entrepreneurs in Iceland? Yeah. Oh, there are. I didn't know that. I thought they were all frozen. Ha ha, just kidding. Anyway, so-and-so recommended you, and I'm putting together a team of people who are going to dominate their local markets, and I don't know if you might be one of the people that could dominate the market in Iceland. You want to hear what I have to say? Only take a few minutes. You'll either like it or you won't. If you do, fantastic. If you don't, have a great day. Easy or hard? Easy, if you'll do it. The easy thing to do is also easy not to do. You've got to be careful. That's why this little campaign forces you into this activity thing. And once you build this list, then what are we going to do? We're going to separate this list into 3 groups. You've got this candidate list, 3 categories. You've got hot market. These are close friends and family. These are people who are sometimes going to give you a challenge as you're growing your business, right? Create a hot list. It's in your workbook. Then you've got warm market. These are people that you know, kind of on a peer level. You're going to make a list of those people. That's included in your workbook. And then you have cold market. Maybe you know them, but they don't know you, and you need to make an introduction. You might need to warm those people up during your preparation phase to at least move them into warm market to be able to focus there. But here's the thing. Let me just talk to you about inviting. Inviting, we're going to start with hot market. What do we want to do? What's our objective? Our objective is to sit down with them or find a way that we can do a presentation with that prospect. Yes? That's all we're trying to do, is let them understand what it is that we have to offer. We're going to sit down. I'm going to tell you how the presentation goes in a minute, but it's generally, you're going to tell your story. You're going to do the thing, whatever the thing is in your company. You're going to ask a few questions. And then you're going to say, you in or you out? You got questions? Where are you at? Generally. It's going to be fast. It's going to be quick. Won't take much. And you're going to get good at it fast. Okay? That's all we're trying to do. No pressure, no drama. Don't worry about it. If you haven't talked to them in the Whisper campaign, you're going to schedule an appointment in those first 10 days, yeah? So we're going to be reaching out to these people. So when it comes to hot market, let me give you a couple key words. Word number 1 is support. Word number 2 is respect. Word number 3 is practice. Respect your hot market. Don't just assume that they're going to get involved just because you're involved. Ask them for their support. Hey, listen, I'm involved in this campaign. And my goal is to be able to just do my presentation to 70 people in these 30 days. Will you be one of them? Just listen to my thing. If you like it or you don't, it doesn't matter. But it would help me. Help me hit my goal. Will you support me? They'll say yes. And we'll have a cup of coffee anyway. We'll get together anyway. We'll be able to talk anyway. It'll only take 30 minutes. No big deal. Will you support me and do that? Or ask them, can I practice on you? During these 30 days, I want to become an expert at my company at presenting what I have. So I've set a goal to do 70 presentations. They're only 30 minutes long, 70 presentations in the month. Would you help me hit my goal? Can I practice on you? Sure. If you make it easy on me, yeah. Yeah, cool. Done. What time works for you? Let me tell you the hours that I'm working in order to be able to make this happen. Put it on the calendar. Make it happen. That's what you do with Hot Market. Respect them. Ask them for support. Ask them if you can practice on them. Let them know that you have a goal to do X number of presentations over the course of this month to become much, much better at it. Their support would mean the world to you. Would they help you? Would you help me? Just help me out. We haven't seen each other in a while anyway. Straight up front. They know it's business. They know exactly what you're doing. And when you do the presentation, you can either ask them to be a customer or you can show them the whole thing and walk through it. And if they provide any resistance at all, just bail to a customer, start them there, and see what happens. No problem, right? Win-win. Everybody wins. They understand what it is that you have to offer. They had an opportunity to evaluate it for themselves. They helped you in hitting your goal and also getting better at this, right? Now, warm market's very similar. Warm market, you're going to go to them not as much of the support and practice approach is, listen, I'm involved in something. In this month, I'm hitting it hard. And I'm putting together something pretty special. And I got something I'd like to share with you. Can I get together with you for coffee? Trust me, you can do a couple different approaches. One is, listen, I just want to share with you what I'm doing. I want to find out what's going on in your life. Let's get together for 30 minutes. There might be a fit, there might not. I don't know. But we'll try it out. Or let's just get together. Let's get caught up. I'll tell you what's going on in my life. You can tell me what's going on in your life. I've got a business project I'm working on that I'm really excited about. I'd like to kind of bounce it off you, see what you think. See if you think it's any good. Right? There's lots of scripts in the workbook that you have in this program. There's tons of little scripts that you can use. Let me tell you the easiest way for you to fill your calendar. Don't worry too much about cold market right now. Unless you warm them up in your preparation phase, don't worry too much about cold market right now. Here's the fastest way for you to fill your calendar. You only have space for 70 appointments. That's all you have space for. Okay? 35 hours worth of appointments. A person can do this with 1 day a week. Do you understand? 1 day a week. You could do one 12-hour day at a Starbucks and do 24 presentations. One day. You'd be just jacked up on caffeine by the end of the day and lemon loaf, but you in or you out. But could you? Answers, of course, you could. It's just a matter of will you. Say, I don't have time? Well, if you got one day a week, you sure could do it. That's 24. Take that times 4. What is that? 96? See, I could do math. Told you. 96 presentations in 30 days. That's just taking 4 days out of the month. You can do 96 presentations. Don't tell me you can't do this and you don't have time. So here's the fastest way to do it. The world has changed, and texting has now become the preferred method of communication. And it's the best thing that's ever happened in network marketing. Best thing ever. Anybody under 30 here in the room? Any under 30s? You're under 30? What's your name, sir?
Giovanni.
Hi, Giovanni. How are you?
Beautiful.
So if you called 100 friends, okay, called them, and it's not like close friends and family that might think you're in the hospital, you're arrested, something, scary, so they got to pick up. How many of those 100 would answer the call?
Unfortunately, probably 25.
25. Well, that's not unfortunate. That's pretty good. So 25 out of 100. So 75, they let it go to voicemail. Why? Because we're annoyed when we get phone calls now.
If the voicemail's even set up.
If the voicemail's even set up, that's the other defense.
That drives me
That's
nuts.
totally right. One of my sons still doesn't have a voicemail set up. He doesn't want one. Little rascal. So, how easy is it to set up an appointment by leaving a voicemail? Brutal. Brutal. So tough. And how skilled are you at inviting somebody over the phone?
Fairly, but I've done it probably 50 or 60 times.
So you've done it 50 or 60 times.
And then getting a hold of them afterwards was
And
awful.
getting a hold of them, following up, doing all that stuff. But here's what I got to tell you. For the average person, it's too scary. It's too scary to be able to make the phone call because somebody throws up, what do we want to meet about? Well, tell me, what is this? Is this network marketing? Oh, they got me. Right? You dealt with that? So the phone calls tend to be a lot of objections, a lot of questions, a lot of let's talk, let's get caught up now. We can have coffee later, but let's get caught up now. Tell me what's going on with this. Tell me what's going on with that. You're like, So there's some skills in order to be able to do that. I have the scripts and the skills in the workbook, and if you want to practice that in your preparation phase and be prepared to do phone calls, and that's your preference, go ahead and do it. But I would save you the pain. I would save you the pain because texting is 10 times more effective. So if you texted the same 100 people when 25 answered and 75 didn't, you text the same 100 people, how many of those are going to respond?
60 to 70.
60 to 70. So it's reversed. It's reversed. And I will tell you, the world's changed to the point where if you don't respond to a text message now, you're kind of a jerk. You can not respond to a voicemail for forever. You can say, no, I didn't hear it. What are you talking about? No, I don't. But you send a text to somebody and then you see they read it and then they don't respond. You're like, oh, jerk. You know what I mean? Some people have broken up with friends just because they didn't respond to a text. Like, I'm not texting you again. I'm done. You have to text me now. And then when they text, like, I'm not responding to you either because you didn't respond to me last time. See how you like it. How many of you have done that? Rest you liars. Come on. You have too. I know you have. I know you have. So, texting is so efficient for so many different reasons. If I want to fill my calendar, and that's what we want to do here, right? For this 30 days, we just want to fill the calendar. You know why filling the calendar is so good to do in this 30-day period of time? Because, especially with text message, if you figure out a way to send out 150 text messages in one day, if you decide you're gonna do this the next calendar month, whatever whenever somebody's watching. Next calendar month, you're going to do this. You send out 150, 200 text messages today. Start with A in your phone and just go through till you get to Z. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's your schedule look like? Want to get coffee? I miss you. Let's get together. I got something cool I want to share with you. Let's connect. Let's meet. What's your schedule like? Let's go. You send out 300, you're going to book 150 appointments within 24 hours. Wow. And it's done. And you know why I like it so much? For those of you who are going to procrastinate, once you've scheduled the appointment, now it's harder for you not to do it. Yeah. You could give up with it if you just do it a little bit at a time. I'm just going to schedule tomorrow. Then I'm just going to schedule the next day. But if you take and you cram, what I would love you to do is do the best you can to cram 70 presentations into the first 10 days. Do everything possible to cram it into the first 10 days. So take your schedule and say, okay, what are the 35 hours that I can find in the first 10 days? Does this sound freaky? Sounds freaky, right? This is big boy and big girl business. This is called huge money. This is called massive results. This is called change your life. This is called buy into yourself for one time. This is called, come on, 10 days. We can do anything for 10 days, right? All in, 100%. So if you did that, let's say you had 2 Saturdays that you could commit during those first 10 days. You could do 12 hours of half an hour each, couldn't you? Start at 8 a.m., go to 8 p.m. That's no problem. That's 24 presentations on that Saturday, 24 presentations on the other Saturday. You got 48 of your 70 done. You just need 22 more in the other 8 days. So it's like 2 a day. You can do that during your lunches. You can do that during your breakfast. You could take an evening and take 3 hours or 2 hours and do 4 of them, 3 hours and do 6 of them. Question?
What if you do a meeting and have...
What if you do a meeting? It doesn't work the same. And have a whole bunch of people. You can, it doesn't quite work the same as far as effectiveness. Now, if you have the chops to do it, do it. If you've got the influence to do it, not everybody does. If you've got the influence to say, hey, I'm having a luncheon at my house at 12 o'clock tomorrow, come over and don't ask questions. Some of you can do that. And they'll show up. And you can say, look, here's what I'm putting together. That counts. You can count that towards your presentations. That's fine. But few people have those chops, that kind of influence. Okay? So, first 10 days, we're going to cram it. And here's all you got to do. We want to do 70 presentations. You got to send 150 text messages. That's it. Pick the day you're going to do it. Start and don't stop till you're done. 150 of them. Phone's going to be blowing up for 24 hours. And it's going to take a little back and forth, right? You send them a message, hey, what's up? What's your schedule next week? I'd like to get together with you. Oh, my schedule's kind of free in the morning. It's tough in the afternoon. Could we get together? You're going to have some back and forth with this. It's going to take 3 days to actually book all of these times of back and forth. Well, that doesn't work. I already have another appointment at 7 in the morning, but I could do 7:30. Does 7:30 work? My appointment's at this Starbucks. Could that work for you? Could you meet after that at 7:30? I have another one at 8, so I only got a half an hour, but I really want to meet you. See what I'm saying? All right, cool, 7:30, back and forth. So you might have 15 text messages with the person in order to be able to confirm it. But the key is this. To fill the funnel, bam. Take the one day, face your fear, and start the thing in motion by sending out all those messages. Now, does WhatsApp work? The answer is yes. Does Facebook Messenger work? Not as good as text, but it does. Does a Twitter direct message work? Yes, it does. Not as good as text, but it still works. Does an Instagram message work? The answer is yes. Does a Snapchat work? The answer is yes, just not as good as a text message. But whatever works with your group, with what your culture, your communication style, I'm not worried about that. I will ask you to avoid the phone for fastest results and to avoid email for inviting purposes. Use these messaging platforms in order to be able to do it. Got it? Okay, so if you want to do 7, you pick your goal, okay? But if you want to get 20, you need to have about 70 presentations in a short period of time. To have 70 presentations, you're going to need to invite about 150 people. Now, if you don't get 70 appointments or 90 appointments from your 150, what do? You got to text some more. You might not have given as much to the universe as you thought you did. So you might need to make up in some numbers what you lack in influence. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. For you young people, when I started off, I was 22 years old. Here's what I got to tell you. Act like you're a whiz kid. Act like you're Mark Zuckerberg. You got the idea. You know what I mean? Just put your shoulders back and say, I got something cool. You might think that you can't talk to somebody more older than you, more successful than you. You can. You can talk to all of them. You just have to have the guts to do it. Just do it and have a little swagger with it. And they'll be fine. They'll listen. So some people are like, well, can I do this? I'm a homemaker. I've never done something like this. This is uncomfortable. Be super mom for a minute. You know what I mean? Be the best self. Be the best superhero you got. Go nuts with this. Pack it into those first 10 days. Crush it into those first 10 days. I'm telling you, it's 10 days that'll change your life. It'll wear you out, but it'll change your life. So, question for you. Yeah. Does the Whisper campaign work the same way? In what way? With text messages? Typically not. Typically not. With the Whisper campaign, I got to have a conversation. I'd love to be face-to-face with the Whisper. If they're a person of influence, and like, listen, we need to talk. I got to tell you, something really big is coming. Or on the phone, I could do that. But a text loses some of its power in that process, from my experience. You can try it, but from my experience, it loses some of its power. So, hot market, warm market, cold market, we're going to make this list. We're going to blast this thing out. Face-to-face changes the game. We're trying to set up as many appointments as possible. We're going to be using text versus phone in order to be able to make that happen. And we're going to fill up this calendar. Say again?
How late can we
How
text?
late can you text? Test it. It depends on your swagger. It depends on your fire. It depends on your belief. It really does. I've called people at 1 in the morning, and I've said, listen, I'm sorry it's 1 in the morning, but it was too important. I could not let this night go by until we talked. I've got to get together with you. I don't apologize for calling because I'm only calling because I care about you, and I want to get together.
Eric, this is family time. You should not be calling at this
Family time?
That's what
I understand.
Guess.
I'm calling for your family. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Text works anytime. Just,
okay.
I mean, there are some a general rule is 10 p.m. is probably about it when it comes to text messages.
Okay.
Most people in the world, they turn on their phone at Do Not Disturb at a certain time of the night so their phone's not buzzing next to their bed all night anyway.
Okay.
So they don't need to answer, respond to that stuff. People get text. I mean, people know people around the world. They get in it all night. It's bling, bling, blingity, bling, bling. I just saw my son, who's 20 years old, and he was taking a nap. We were on vacation. He was taking a nap at this beach house. And I don't know how he sleeps because it's just bling, blingity, bling, 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 zzz, 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 bling, bling, zzz, 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 zzz. Like, what in the world is going on? Somebody die? No, that's just my notification. Zip, zip, bing, bing, ding, ding, zing, zing, zing. What in the world?
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about a challenge for myself, and I don't know if this is real or not, but if I'm setting the appointments at 30-minute increments and people have a tendency to be late, so for example, if I set an appointment at 6 o'clock and then I got one at 6:30, the 6 o'clock shows up at 6:20, then I got a 6:30 appointment. Do you put them both in the same appointment, or what would you do?
What I would do is I would, in the invitation, please, please, please don't be late or let me know because I have another appointment 30 minutes after that. I want to be able to sit down with you. I want to be able to connect with you, but I've got that other thing. There's another powerful thing that happens there. The urgency that happens inside of that environment is you're sitting down with somebody at the end, look, are you in or you out? While you're thinking about it, just know I'm putting together the monster team. See that person over there? They're the next person I'm meeting. They could be in your upline or your downline. You decide. You know what I mean? Yeah. The slower you go, I'm just telling you, I'm running. So if you're probably going to do this anyway, let's just go ahead and get it done. If you're probably going to do it anyway. After you do your homework, ask your questions, do all this stuff, you're probably going to do it anyway. Let's just go. Okay? Let's make it work. So I make sure that I respect. Now, if somebody's disrespecting that whole time, I would just say, I'm sorry, my next appointment started. We'll have to do it another time. You can wait if you want, have a cup of coffee, and when we're done, if there's a little gap, then I'll be happy to sit down with you. Again, I got some swagger, man. And I'm going. And you don't have to have success to have some swagger. You don't have to have success to have some belief in yourself. You know what I mean? To some intention of where you're going. Some confidence in what you're trying to achieve. You just decide. For these 30 days, the world might have to revolve around me. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to figure it out. Somebody's disrespectful? Fine, move on. Deal with them later. Somebody's like, I'm not going to think about it. Fine, move on. We'll deal with them later. The slow burn people, we're looking for people looking for opportunity. These 30 days, I want somebody who wants an opportunity. These 30 days, I want somebody that's dissatisfied, wants to change their life. If you want to think about it, take the long, slow boat. I'll talk to you in 60 days after I get this thing launched. But the people who get launched in this particular season, they're going to get better results than anybody else. Now, when it comes to questions, I'll answer tons of questions, but let me answer that in a separate module because we got a lot of stuff to cover, okay? We might end up going all night. You're like, woo! What are you saying? Some of you might have the question, what do you say in these text messages? It doesn't really matter. Coffee? Hello? What's your schedule? How's it going? Miss you? It's been a long time. Whatever. To be able to schedule, the goal is to get together with them for 30 minutes, to be able to tell your story, do the thing, ask a few questions. You want to have an adventure with me or not? I mean, that's basically it. Okay, so don't put too much drama and stress about it. Don't worry about it too much. I need to know exactly what to say. Fine. Type hello to 300 people. There you go. Training over. Take it from there and you're good. I'm not kidding. You do that, you're going to be fine. They'll say hello back, and then you can say, what's your schedule? And off you go. You're in a conversation. Okay. I got to tell you one quick story. In this process, I have a friend. His name's Terry. Terry lives in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Terry's a serial entrepreneur. He starts businesses, got real estate, does all kinds of crazy stuff. He's always starting something, doing something. Terry joined a company about 8 years ago. Joined a network marketing company. And he didn't have a lot of time. But he decided that he was going to take a 10-day window and see how many people he could meet and present and see how many people he could recruit into his business. So here's what he did. He set up 140 appointments in 10 days. All in Starbucks around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. 140. 14 a day on average. 14 a day on average. And when he told me the story, he said when I started, they were like 40 minutes long, and I had all this stuff and all this script and all this different kinds of things. He said by the time I'd done about 10 of them, it was just like, look, I'm going, I'm running, I'm gunning, here's company, here's product, I'm going to win. You want to join me, you in or you out. It was like 5 minutes, he just, he had all this stuff, and then, because he got sick of telling all the other blah, 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 blah. So he just cut to the chase, hey, you going to do it or not? Come on, let's go, let's run. 140. His wife helped set the appointments, organize and all this stuff. He just sat there and he was a presentation machine, 140 in 10 days. He signed up 50, about 50, out of those 140. And he worked with that group for about 90 days. You know, he helped them get started, worked with them, you know, got some to go to their convention, you know, got them going, some rank advancement, got some lines of sponsorship going, got some things moving. And then he got some other business. He started some other businesses, started some other companies. He got busy in other directions. So he just kind of left his distributorship be. Now I want you to imagine, he left it be. He said, everybody, I've done, my work is done here. You go make it happen. Go to the conventions, use the product, go help some other people. I hope I've been of service to you. I hope my introduction meant something to you. But I got to go do this other thing. I got to go. Still had his distributorship. But he just walked away. And for the last 8 years, he's never been to another company convention, hasn't done a call, hasn't done a thing. And to this day, he makes over $100,000 a month from that 10-day burst of activity. Over 100,000 every month. So is a campaign like this worth it? Now, am I promising you you're going to earn that? Of course I'm not. But I am telling you that the long tail of results from this type of an effort is tremendous. It's tremendous. It's huge. And you can do it. So sometimes when you're sending the text to schedule an appointment, people are going to say, yes, I'd love to meet with you, so long as it's not about that network marketing thing you keep yabbering about. Happy to meet with you. If it's network marketing, you know, hey, count me out. You're going to get that sometimes, yes? Now, here's what you do if you get that. Still meet with them. Just say, you know, look, let's take business off the table. We don't need to talk business. Let's just get together for a half an hour. I want to find out what's going on in your life. You can find out what's going in mine. We'll share a cup of coffee. We'll sit down and we'll just compare notes. Whatever. Let's just get caught up. That'll be all right. See what I mean? And they go, oh, I guess I'm not just a friend just for business. Because what's going to happen anyway during that presentation? Are they going to ask you what's going on in your life? Are you going to have an opportunity to tell your story? Yeah? And in telling the story, might they ask some more questions? Yes. And then you can say, listen, I know this wasn't about business, but I'm doing this thing. And I'm running hard. You can be part of it if you want to. If you don't want to, that's cool. No big deal. Entrepreneurs can't help but try to connect the dots when they hear what's going on. They just can't help it. So get together with them anyway. And even if no, let's not talk about business. Fine, let's talk about kids. That's fine. The interaction itself will lead to good things, I promise. It will lead to good things. Okay, so here's the challenge. The challenge is this. In this module, once you've picked the date, send 150 text messages or direct messages, whatever, in one day. It's really important that you do it in one day. Really important that you do it in one day. Now, if you want to test this out just to see if this thing works, do a little trial run, send 10 text messages if you want. Just to set up a few appointments over the course of the next 10 days, just to get your feet wet. That's fine. It's not going to be the same as this campaign, but you can test this out just to see if this theory works. That make sense? They give you a little comfort, maybe? Okay, I could try this out? All right, fantastic.